From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault. Now I saw Big Shot Rob in the control room. I thought we gotta get a quick little segment together. Rob, baseball is back. You are in your glory. Thankfully for me, I have the Dodgers to kind of heal the wounds of the Yankees, which I expect much of this year. But Rob, one game down, another one tonight. What are you thinking so far?
Joe, it does not look too good right now. I mean, that Yankee game the other day, we go Monday opening day. Yeah, we could blame Chase Headley for that with his error. Set up a big 5-run inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. But Masahiro Tanaka, Joe, just doesn't have the velocity anymore. It seems really lost. The UCL should have been, there should have been precautions with it. Surgery should have happened. Yes, you know what? The guy's going to probably miss the year. But you know what? At the end of the day, he'll have his velocity back. He'll be throwing the right pitches. I'm very worried about this team, and I just don't. It's like now, who do I root for? The New York Mets are going to be owning New York pretty soon.
I think so too. And I think when you go back to Tanaka, to me, after 4, he looked done. He looked like he did. Obviously, you didn't really expect the speed to really be there with his velocity. But I think he just looked like he was gassed after 4 innings. Rob, you got Pineda on the mound tonight. What do you expect out of him? I think it's one of those things where you're playing such a dangerous game with all your pitchers because they're one pitch away from being down, and then where do you go from there?
Well, Pineda, Joe, I'm expecting a hot start. I'm hoping he goes at least 7 innings. You know, last year he really started off really hot until his injury. As long as his shoulder, as long as he keeps it healthy, he's going to be a great pitcher in this league. And hopefully he could beat the Blue Jays because you know what? We cannot be shut. I mean, the other day we lost. We scored a run. We can't be shut out like that again, though. We can't have things like this happen. We need a pitcher who's going to go the yard. And I think Michael Pineda could fill that role, especially since CC Sabathia is not going to be doing that for the Yankees this season.
No, it's when you think about it, Rob, it's like last year. It's funny because even with all the guys who went down, pitching was not the problem for the Yankees. The bullpen held up as well as it could. They got as much out of the starting rotation, considering all the injuries, as they could. This year, I think we're looking at the same problem. Now, the pitching, again, health is as big a question mark as you could get. But I think at the end of the day, the primary concern still is, can this team hit? Rob, the question to you.
No. These guys, Joe, you know what? Yes, it's only one game. Teixeira makes April Fools every day. That's what Mark Teixeira does. Carlos Beltran is the only guy I think who's going to have a decent year in this lineup. You know, last year he goes down with the injury, but now we're having a fully healthy Carlos Beltran. So hopefully he gets his strength back, probably put up 25 home runs. But we look at it. We gave McCann that big contract. McCann isn't the guy he was from Atlanta. I've been stressing this the past year and a half with the Yankees. McCann's a guy who used to be able to hit 25 home runs, put in 95 RBIs. He can't do it anymore. His injuries have limited him to that, and at most, he's just a great catcher. And then you look at it, Jacoby Ellsbury, great leadoff hitter, but he's not going to be doing much production if he doesn't have other guys backing him up. And then we go to the lower part of the order. You know what, Steven Drew, I'll give it to him. Last year, he really had a bad year, missed spring training, started the year late. They're saying this year he got a lot of reps in, said he looked good swinging the bat. He's the only one who I think could really help this team out in the bottom of the order because Didi Gorges, he's not going to be doing anything for the Yankees this year. At most, going to be a 200 hitter. And look what he did on the bases the other day, stealing third with 2 outs. Don't even get me started with that one.
I'm with you, and here's my biggest frustration, Robin. Like I kind of always reference, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to watch the Dodgers too, so I kind of get, and they're a lot of fun to watch, but I think the biggest thing that for me hurts is this is just a boring team. There's no flash about them. There's nothing that really gets me excited. It's a weird roster filled with guys at the back end of their careers, like Teixeira, like A-Rod, like Beltran. I love Beltran, but I mean, it's just a weird roster, and I don't think there's one thing you could really cling your hat to and say, this is something that's got me excited for the future. When I watch them, I just don't get that excitement level.
Oh, Joe, there's not $200 million, Joe, put into this team, and it's a mediocre team. $200 million, second highest payroll in the league, and it's a pathetic team to watch. Team that doesn't even qualify the playoffs. And you know what? It's just an embarrassment to watch them.
It is. Well,
you build the farm system. This is what they need to start doing. Build the farm system. And you know what? Until they realize that, yes, you know what? From the late 90s, they started building this franchise around, started getting all the big free agents. You know what? It's not working around this time around. Now everybody is at a different level where other teams are able to afford their bigger players with the payroll. And the Yankees just, again, all these stars when they're old and worn out. There's nothing they could do.
100% right. I mean, it's all about getting young now. Look, let's be honest. It's time to blow it up. But like blowing it up, Big Shot Rob, you blew it up. I got to be honest, Rob. I thought about it this morning when I turned on ESPN. You called it for our WICR Radiothon. Armand called you crazy, but you said the New Orleans Pelicans would sneak into the playoffs with that 8th spot. Now, it's not official yet. There's still a little bit of time, but as of now, Rob, they have that 8th spot. So, Rob, you seem to be just have that psychic ability. Any more predictions for us before we go?
Arizona, the St. Louis Cardinals will be in the World Series this season.
Hard to disagree with that. I mean, when you look at the trend, Giants, Cardinals, Giants, Cardinals, Giants, Cardinals, logically, it's time for the Cardinals. But, Rob, thank you very much for joining us for a little bit this morning. A lot of fun getting some thoughts. We will be back later in the day. Tons of baseball to get to. It's the season, and it's a good time to be a sports fan. But, everyone, thank you for listening. Jersey Joe and Big Shot Rob signing off.